Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently proceeding forward here. We're trying to enact multiculturalism. It's honestly a bit of a long shot, but that would be very nice to have. The combustion engine has just been unlocked, and that actually gives us quite a lot here in terms of production methods. So we can work on automobile production if we wanted to. We probably don't want to immediately, although we can, I think, work on that in a moment. I do think that we want to go to public motor carriages, at least for the moment. We'll see how that feels. And if we need to, we can turn that down. Let's see. Anything else that we need to do in here? There should have been a bunch of additional production methods, right? Chainsaws would be nice. And combustion engine derricks. Absolutely. Okay, and that allows us to go to motorized reconnaissance. That's very expensive, apparently. We'll see how expensive that really is, but for the moment, we'll do something like this. We're running a deficit. We'll see about that. Okay, I think that's good for the moment. Now, we could definitely go onto automobile production here. I'm not going to do this. What we're going to do is I want to check in on what motor industries we have right now. So we're going to go into our industry here. We're going to go to motor industries. These are the ones that we currently have. Okay. I'm going to take only our Bombay area and take that over to motor industries. Okay. From there, I would like to bump up all of our motor industries that are like over 30, but below 51. I'd like to take them up to 51. So that's 41 there, and then we need an additional 10, so 12 in total. And then we need an 8 here. I guess we'll put in 9. Sure. So that seems fine. We are definitely running a pretty big deficit here. I want to check in on our 16694. This is really starting to feel possible in terms of breaking free of Britain. So that would be great. We are making our way through this. These motor industries will take a little bit of time. We do need to get this money situation dealt with, right? That is very high priority. The real question is what happens with multiculturalism. It's taking a long time per checkpoint. Odds are pretty good that it doesn't end up happening. Chemical warfare, yeah. Machine gunners are now available. So I want to come down over this way. Do we go for, in the military tab here, do we go for, say, NCO training? That's 5 years out. Concrete fortifications? Concrete fortifications feels pretty good. But honestly, I think NCO training is the way that we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. Multiculturalism is going to be a while. Central planning. Hey, taxation capacity. Telephone switchboards. I like it. We're getting so many techs at this point. And, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, look at that literacy curve. I love it. Okay, so we want to check in on those production methods, specifically for our government administration. Telephone switchboards are going to be expensive. Can we make our own telephones? Let's see how this feels at this point. No, we don't have electrics industries yet. Okay, we're running shortages on telephones. No shockers there. We're going to import no telephones. No one has telephones available. We might have to turn off the telephones. Yes, we do. We have to turn it off. For the moment, we can always bring that back up later on. But let's just go ahead and bring that back down to the standardized filing system. That's much better. Cool. So what are we running shortages on? We have a few market access issues. Iron and oil is the only real problem at this moment. Okay, there's nothing we can do to get more iron and oil other than attempt to import it. And I mean, we could import a couple of units of iron here. I'm going to do 3. And then what about oil? Can we import any of that? Actually, yes. We're going to get the top 3 here in terms of productivity. Cool. So we'll call that good for now. Aeroplanes input goods shortage. That was very brief. Okay. What is this being used by? It's only used in these locations, right? So we can go down to machine gunners, and I definitely do want to do that. Let's see here. Sea lane strategies. What is using aeroplanes right now? I don't think any of these do use aeroplanes, is the thing. Okay, with machine gunners on, that puts us up to 20,000. So, Britain. What are you thinking about this at this point? +3 due to British Army power projection compared to ours. Hilarious. So, do we do this? I would like to get our economy a little bit more on track first. We're going to go into deficit here, but we are certainly cruising towards being able to do this. Every moment that passes, we're stronger. I want to get these motor industries complete. Minus 258 is not that bad. Especially when you consider how much we're going to be making when we actually do break free. We're cruising towards 700 million GDP, which is almost equivalent to Britain's GDP. Remarkable. Now, keep in mind, a big part of the reason that we are improving our finances is because we're not fully constructing. That is completely understood. And what do we have going on here? Anything that needs to be auto-expanded? No, actually. Oil was discovered in Khorasan. That is not in our territory. Okay. So how are we doing on those motor industries? 5 weeks out at this point. Okay, so that seems fine. We're going to finish those up, and that will help out a good amount of our engine costs. The telephone has now been unlocked, and now we can build electrics industries. And so we shall. We're going to go into the industry here. And electrics industries is here. Let's look at our labor pool. North Bengal. Okay, I'm going to queue up 51 of these, but that's at the bottom of the list. We're only building these with our excess construction at this point. Cool. In fact, we're building all of them simultaneously. Okay, sure. Now that is putting us in pretty big deficit here. No shockers there. We're going to wrap up all this construction, and yes, Britain is attacking Dahomey here. I don't expect that to take them very long. And we're going to finish up all of these random constructions, and then the electrics industries here. Those are going to be 26 weeks out. And at this point, I would like to go into our buildings here and begin work on swapping over to telephone switchboards. This is going to be very expensive. Russia sided with Dahomey. Dreadnoughts have been unlocked. Okay, sure. And Dahomey backed down. Okay, that's pretty funny, actually. I'm a little bit not surprised at all about that. We'll see what happens with this multiculturalism. Political agitation has been unlocked. Cool. Plus 10% authority. That allows us to go for, like, mass propaganda. Okay, cool. So how close are we on these electrics industries? We are still a ways out. We shouldn't upgrade to telephone switchboards just yet. Did I upgrade that? No, I did not. We were thinking about it, but we hadn't done it just yet. Cool. Do we go to a trade nexus here? No, I don't think so. Cool, so that should be fine. And what are currently shortages here? Well, this is unproductive because it's obviously going to be unproductive. There we go, that's fine. And we're very negative financially right now. We're going to continue to construct here, I think, until our electrics industries are done, and that will continue to keep us quite negative financially. So we're going to build up a little bit of debt here. No doubt about that. We're going to be finishing up all of these. We've got 15 weeks, only 102. And that's going to continue to improve. Our backroom dealings were exposed here. And that, of course, means that we have to get rid of our attempt to enact multiculturalism. For the moment, we did not succeed that role. And what else do we want here? Well, we could work into poor laws. We could. Other options include... Yeah, mass conscription isn't a choice right now. Guaranteed liberties would be not necessarily ideal for this moment. We could go to, like, protected speech for that sweet, sweet technology spread. We could give it a go. The landowners would oppose it, but I think for the moment we can try it. We can see what happens here. So, I want to check in on our infrastructure here. It's about what I expected to see. Sure. I was really hopeful that we would be able to pass that anti-discrimination law, but unfortunately that's not going to be a thing. The landowners are going to drop their opinion of us, which isn't great. But we'll see how this ends up going. We're at 84 right now. We're not maxing out our construction. And we are definitely building up a little bit of debt here, but it's not that bad, really. I think it's reasonably fine. Our GDP is continuing to rise, but more importantly, our literacy is just pouring upwards. Houseware Plastics is unlocked. We're not going to enable that. The interpretation of dreams, huh? University building throughput sounds actually quite good. So we'll go ahead and do that. How are we doing here now? 20,000 compared to Britain's 13,000. That feels pretty good, if I'm honest. Electrical capacitors are spreading to us. Excellent. And we're going to finish up our electrics industries in 5 weeks. Arms industries managed to turn themselves off. We will turn that auto expand back on. That will likely be needed. Zeppelins have been unlocked. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and we wanted to swap down to dreadnoughts and see how that feels. Not so bad. There is a radio's input goods shortage, and that's not surprising. Let's go ahead and bump down at this point to telephone switchboards. That is going to put us quite negative until we finish up these electrics industries. We're going to think about maybe building another electrics industry somewhere. We'll see how that goes. How are we doing on telephones and radios right now? Well, it's going to be a bit until that's done. That was in, what, North Bengal that we built that? So we're going to see how that fills out in terms of its employment. It appears to be going reasonably well. Cool. So we're not producing radios right now. Radios are not a thing that we can produce. No one in the world is producing radios, to be clear. And that means that we should definitely go into our Navy. I'm just going to turn our Navy all the way down right now. 490. Okay. I'm assuming this is telephones? Mostly, yeah. Mostly telephones. Okay. So telephones are still expensive. They are dropping in price. Do we want to produce additional telephones somewhere? The answer is probably yes. So we'll put that in, say, South Bengal. Again, I'm queuing this up at the bottom of the list. But it's going to build all of it. Minus 1.03 million? Yikes. Okay, so we're going to have to turn down our consumption of telephones. I think that's very, very clear. We're going to turn this on down to standardized filing system, and fingers crossed that makes things a little bit better for us. I believe it will. The International Telephone Exchange with France. Do it. Beautiful. This law is another long shot. I don't expect to actually get this passed, to be clear. And yeah, these electrics industries are like 27 weeks. There's electrical capacitors, so we have additional production methods. Let's go ahead and go to electric sewing machines and automatic power looms. We'll try to balance our economy around getting all of this ready to go. So that'll be great. Anything else in here that we need to go to? I mean, airship mooring post, I suppose. No reason not to, I don't think. Cool. And we'll continue to go through here. Is there anything in the rural areas from that? Not really, is the answer. Okay. We do have battleships available, but for the moment, we don't really have access to the radios. So that will not be a thing for right now. Okay. We are being affected by a man-o'-war's input goods shortage. I don't really care too much about that. That's not all that relevant. So what is being exposed here now? We're working on military, but in the production and society, antibiotics. Okay, I don't really care about that. That's fairly irrelevant to us. But we will continue to work our way through this, and the reason that these are turning off, for the record, is I've now figured it out. I just figured it out. I should have earlier, but I did just figure it out. It's because private constructions are adding additional states in, because I noticed that they started to add in the electrics industries in locations that we did not build them. So the private constructions are adding those, but those new locations don't start with automatic expansion on. So that's what's going on there. Now that we figured that out, it should be fine. We'll make these publicly traded. Cool. Okay. Excellent. So our GDP is not amazing, right? We're kind of chilling right now. And a big part of that, well, our balance does need to get worked on. There's no doubt about that one. Market access is awkward, but no shockers there. So our electrics industries, our second round of them, are being built in South Bengal this time. We've got about 16 weeks on those finishing up. There we go. Antibiotics. I like it. And protected speech, we're about to get a roll on this. We'll see how that goes. We're expecting this to not go well. France rivals Great Britain. Okay. We're kind of waiting on these to finish up, and when they do, we might think about attacking Britain. Maybe. Overzealous censorship, huh? Well, so much for enacting protected speech, but that was a long shot. We're not surprised about that. Can we now look to pass again multiculturalism? Not for another 14 weeks. Okay. But hey, there's NCO training done already. That came really quickly, actually. I was not expecting that quickly. I was expecting that to be 5 years. I think we go for concrete fortifications next. And that, of course, means that we can go into our buildings and turn up to squad infantry. That's going to be expensive. And we're seeing how our economy feels with that. And I also want to check in 22,000 compared to Britain's 14,000. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. What is currently expensive? Just radios, pretty much. Electrics industries are going to be done soon enough. Are we working on radios in any way? Military aviation is being worked on, apparently, and it's not going to be that bad. And we're making good progress on concrete fortifications as well. Mass propaganda is going to be done soon. And in our productions here, steam turbine and pasteurization. Okay. We would like to get radios. We're not quite there yet. We have an illegitimate government. Fair enough. That's absolutely true. We're not going to do anything about that just yet, because I do want to attempt to pass that law again. We want to be able to get everyone into our army. So the racial segregation is not helpful for us. We'd like to go down to multiculturalism. Would cultural exclusion be an okay intermediary step? Okay, pasteurization is done. But would this be an okay intermediary step here? Accepted cultures. They'll be accepted based on shares a cultural heritage trait with any primary cultures in their country. Okay. So these are our cultures right now. And if we sort by population, we should absolutely try to make this a accepted culture if we can. How do we do that? Bengali and Sunni is the majority of this. So we've got this nation formation here. Okay, we're not trying to form England. I want to try to make these guys accepted. They are currently discriminated. If we just get these guys on our side, this is 25% of our nation. So that on its own would do pretty well. So if we go in here, it is discriminated in British Raj. Yes. How do we change that? Is there not a way in here that's obvious to do so? Our primary cultures are just English. if a country forms a different country, its primary cultures may change, but will otherwise remain the same. So we can't do that. So we have to pass multiculturalism. Okay. So we have 4 weeks before we can do that. We do want to bolster the industrialists. We'll get to work on that. And we also want to get our economy turned around a little bit. So once we finish the electrics industries here, how will this look economically? Well, we could definitely think about raising up our taxation level. And that would do the trick. We can raise that up for now and start paying off our debt. And we can look to break free from Britain once these wars are over. And we're at 990k. That is because we are not using very much of our construction capacity. So that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. We can pay off our credit fairly quickly like this. So now we can look to pass racial segregation eventually. Oh, we can't do that while we have an illegitimate government. Right. Okay. So we can't kick the industrialists out unless... Well, we can't kick them out while we're trying to pass this law. So we would need to get up to at least a unacceptable government. That would require lowering taxes. If we lowered taxes to here, that would do the trick. That would also put us quite negative financially. It'll be way worse than that. Yeah, 800k. So if we were to do that, that puts us into an unacceptable government. And then we can try to pass racial segregation. So what happens if we get that started? It won't progress if we're an illegitimate government, though. And I'm guessing we can't kick these guys out of government while we're doing this. Maybe we can. So we're enacting multiculturalism. Now we have a righteous government. We're going to pop back up over here. We're making progress. Okay, so we have a 0% chance here. So basically, we have to win this 28.5% roll, and then we have to win a further roll beyond that. It's going to be spicy. The Great Train Smash, huh? Oh my. Everyone enjoyed the spectacle. Okay, so we've got one more left here. Revolution in Indochina, sure. And with our one more left, we're going to declare on Great Britain as soon as we can here. They're at 14,210. We are at 11,396. What caused that to drop off? The armed forces no longer being in our government, perhaps? Perhaps. Oh, that's right. We were going to make our way down through here. Getting any of these refrigerations done. There we go. So, that's a possibility. I don't think we dropped any of our buildings here. No, we did not. And we did not drop our budget for our military either. So it must be the armed forces not being in our government. So if we add them back in... Wait, this is now only a legitimate government of 80? Oh, this is the armed forces, right. We had the industrialists before. So the industrialists being in puts us back where we were. No shockers there. We're running a Impuca's shortage of mana wars. Why did this drop down to 11,398? Landowner opinion, perhaps? I don't think so. We were at like 20,000. And now we're not. Mass propaganda has just been unlocked, so that's nice. But what caused our military power to drop so much? Our power projection. I don't know. Now that we're at peace here, I'm not sure that we want to do this with only 11,000 here. Britain is at 14,000. So that's potentially a little bit spicy. If we were still at that 20,000, I would absolutely declare it. So we need to figure out what's causing this to be reduced. Okay, that's just our flat, and then an increase from the military wages. Okay, I'm going to actually make a save here. We're going to return to this save. But I'm going to reload the previous save and see if we can see a multiplier in there. So we're going to load in autosave exit should be the one. Fantastic. So we're going to load in autosave exit here and just see if we can see a multiplier that we lost somewhere along the way. So if we go into here, 14,935. No? We've still just got that one multiplier, I should say. So the next question is, do we have a modifier in here that would be causing it? Armed Forces Patriotic Fervor. Okay. That might very well be what's going on there. So let's check in on our armed forces here. Our armed forces are at loyal plus 13. If we load that save that we just made, any moment now. Okay, we load that save that we just made. Let's check what our armed forces are at. Okay. Armed forces are at 12. That shouldn't change anything here. They still have that patriotic fervor. Okay, noted. This zooming is pretty laggy. There we go. That seems to be under control now. So as a question, what happens if we ditch the multiculturalism again? The industrialists gain minus 10% production technology cost, minus 10% society cost. This movement disbands, and we are at still 11,421. Let's give it a weak tick. 11,424. Okay. I'm guessing it probably has something to do, and this is just a wild guess here, but something to do with our employment numbers in our barracks. Is the theory. Oh, we can go to aerial reconnaissance? Hang on. Let's go through these one more time here real quick. Aerial reconnaissance, squad infantry, siege artillery, aerial reconnaissance, machine gunners, and field hospitals. Okay. So we'll tick forward a little bit. 12,463. And we are, of course, going to be missing aeroplanes. So no shockers there. There's no one to import them from, and I don't think we can make war machine industries. Oh, we can. Okay, so if we can do that, we should definitely do some of this. North and South Bengal are at negative infrastructure. That might well have something to do with that. Noted. Okay, I'm going to build in Delhi 51 of these. We're also going to need to build some railways. I'm almost certain that this is the problem. Okay, so we have 11 queued up here right now. What is 11 times 15? Calculator, 11 times 15, 165. So that's actually enough. All of this should be enough. I mean, there's this situation, but that's not a problem. And then in Delhi here, we're almost certainly going to need, like, at least 5 more. I'm going to add a couple. Okay. Well, it is time to put a cut in here, and I'm going to re-save here. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are definitely, well, maybe not definitely, we're going to very strongly consider rebelling against Great Britain. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kintogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Anna the Elephant, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.